Hello students, how are you? Hope you are fit and fine and safe at your places. Welcome to 7th Standard Social Science class of Civics. Today we are going to learn a very tremendous, magnificent and a spectacular chapter, that is Fundamental Rights and Duties. Shall we start the class, dear students? Are you ready for it? Yes? Before that, I would request you to please sit with a pen and a book so that you can note down the important points that we are going to cover in this chapter. Let's begin the class now. Let us know the competencies of this chapter. First of all, you will be understanding the difference between the natural rights and the fundamental rights. You will also be understanding the fundamental rights provided to citizens by our Constitution. As well, you will be attaining the capacity to understand and adopt 11 fundamental duties that are included in our Constitution. So, at the end of this chapter, you will learn all these competencies, dear students. Now, students, I would like to give you two situations. Let us see what are those situations. Here it is. Here is a girl called Tina, who is very happy and a jolliest girl. As well, she is a very ambitious girl. She has a dream of becoming a doctor in future. So, one day she decides to tell her father. So, let us see what she is telling. Daddy, I want to become a doctor. Let us see the daddy's reply now. No, Tina, I cannot afford you, but your brother will become a doctor. On this, the Tina's younger brother makes fun of her and laughs on her. Here, the whole day, Tina feels very upset and she starts crying. A question rewinds in her mind. Why I don't have right to become a doctor? Do you think, student, this is right? Why Tina doesn't have the right to become a doctor? It's up to you, think about it. Let's move on to the next situation. Let's move to the second situation, dear students. Can you see a boy here? Yes. Here is a young man who is called Dheera. He is a cobbler by profession. He has opened a stall in front of a school. Every day he sees children going to school happily. At a very young age, Dheera had to take up the responsibility of his house, so that he had to give up his studies. But always he was feeling very bad because he gave up his studies. He had a dream. He says to himself, I had a dream of going to a school, but I couldn't go as I am very poor. Is this right, students? Why Dheera did not have the right to go to school? Because of his poverty? Yes, think about it, students. Think about the situation of Tina, who wants to become a doctor, and think about this poor boy who wanted to go to school, but due to his poverty, he was not able to. So, don't you think Tina has the right to become a doctor? Don't you think Dheera had the right to go to school? Yes, they both have equal right. A question arises here. What is a right? Can anyone tell me? What is a right? Very good, students. Let us know the meaning of this right. A right means the authority given to a citizen, like right to live, right to education, right to work. For the right is classified into two types. One is natural right and another is a legal right. So, what is this natural right, dear students? So, you will come to know about natural right, simple comparison with legal rights. See, legal rights are the rights which are protected by our Constitution, which is not such in case of natural right. Do you get now? So, natural rights are anything which is not protected by our constitution, like right to live, right to work, right to safety, right to have family, etc. Okay? It's clear to you now. Let us look into fundamental rights now, which is nothing but the legal right. Okay? Here it is, fundamental rights. What is fundamental rights, dear student? Yes, come up with your answers. Fine, very good. Fundamental rights are the basic rights given to an individual by the Constitution for his development. They are the constitutional rights. Fundamental rights are very important to lead a social life. Okay? No one can violate this right because fundamental rights are protected by the judiciary of our country. Understood, dear students? Yes? Shall we move to the next topic? Fine. Now let us see classification of fundamental rights. So here fundamental rights are divided into 6 types. Let us see what are those. Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to religion, cultural and educational right, right to constitutional remedies. Do you get, students? These are the 6 fundamental rights that every citizen of our country enjoys. Okay? So now let us look into it one by one in detail. Right to equality. What do you think, dear students? What this right tells you? Right to equality. What it tells, dear students? It tells that all are equal before the law. Nobody is above the law and all deserve equal protection. So this is what our right to equality tells us. Okay? So here everyone are treated equally before the law. The government of our country guarantees that every citizen of our country are equal before the law. So do you get, students? Do you came to know what is right to equality? Everyone should be treated equally before the law. Okay? And it cannot restrict an individual's entry into a shop, hotel, parks and many more recreational places. It also cannot restrict the use of public wells, roads, public transport and many more things. All the citizens have the equal opportunity to enter the government service. Every individual has the equal opportunity to become a doctor, lawyer, a teacher and many other professions. Okay? As well, it cannot forbid anyone from entering the holy places and offer prayers. So this is what our right to equality tells us, dear students. Let's move to the next right, that is right to freedom. What do you think this right to freedom tells us? Can anyone guess? Yes? Right to freedom includes several more rights. Let us see. Right to speech and freedom of expression, right to participate in the peaceful public meeting, right to establish institutions and associations, right to travel throughout the country without any restriction, right to live in any part of India and as well right to take up any employment, business or occupation. So, right to freedom includes all this freedom for the individual of our country, for the citizen of our country. Let us go in deep one by one with this freedom of right. Okay? Let us see now right to speech and freedom of expression. So, what this tells us, dear student? The name itself tells us that every individual of our country or every citizen of our country has the right to speak or express his or her opinions, views without any fear, openly. Fine, students. So, right to speech and freedom gives authority for us to speak and express our feelings, opinions and views openly without any fear. Okay? Understood? A citizen or an individual can use number of mediums to express his views and opinions. Like, students, can anyone tell me? Like? Through writing. Very good. Then by words. Yes, he can express his views and opinions by words. Then through printing press, through banners and many more such things. Okay? Let's move to the next right. That is right to participate in the peaceful public meeting. So this is also very important right under the right of freedom. That is right to participate in the peaceful public meeting. So every citizen of our country have the right to participate in the meeting peacefully, okay, without using arms. Okay? Yes, let us move to the next right, that is right to establish institutions and associations. One among the rights of freedom, that is right to establish institutions and associations. What this right tells you, that every Indian citizen has the right to establish educational institutions, right to establish institutions and associations. This right tells us that every citizen of our country has the right to establish educational institutions and other institutions. As well, this right gives us freedom to form associations. Okay? If we have certain problems, we can peacefully form associations and solve those problems regarding our issues. Yes, let's move to the next right under right to freedom, that is right to travel throughout the country without any restriction. Okay, so this is also one among the right to freedom. It's very important. Every Indian citizen has the right to travel throughout the country without any restrictions. Understood, dear students? Okay? Yes, let's move to the next right, that is right to live in any part of India. Every citizen of our country has the right to live in any part of India. If a person from Karnataka wants to settle down in Orissa, he can travel it freely without any restriction and settle down in Orissa. Okay. If a person doesn't want to settle there also in Orissa, if he wish to settle down in another place, that is in Rajasthan within India, then he can freely move to Rajasthan and go and settle in Rajasthan. So it means that every citizen of our country can live in any part of India without any restrictions. Okay, dear students? Understood? Fine, let's move to the other right. Right to take up any employment, business or occupation. This is also another important right. So what it tells you, for example, if a farmer's son, it doesn't mean that the son has to become a farmer. He has to take up the occupation of his farmer. He can also become a doctor, lawyer, teacher and many more professions he can adopt it. It doesn't mean that what the father is by profession, even the same thing, even the son should follow it. So, an individual, a citizen of our country has the right to take up any employment according to his choice. Understood, dear students? Let's move to the next fundamental rights, that is right against exploitation. Okay. So, let us see what this right against exploitation tells us? Right against exploitation. The objective of this right is to prevent exploitation of poor, women, children and the weaker sections of the society. In order to avoid and prevent this exploitation of certain classes, our state and central government has come up with a number of laws. Let's see what are those laws. So, for example, you can see here a picture, an image of a dowry system. Earlier, dowry system was more in our country. Yes, now the government of our country, what it has done is, practicing of dowry system is punishable offence now. It has made a law that practicing of a dowry system is punishable offence. Let's move to the another image, that is what you can see here, a boy carrying out bricks, right? So what it tells you? It tells that yes, in certain big and small industries, whether it is a tea stall, everywhere you can see small children working. Okay, this is nothing but the child labor. Do you think is right, students? No, it is not right. So here the government of our country has come up with the law against the child labor. Now it is considered to be a punishable offence. Every child who is above the 6 years to 14 years have the right for education. Okay. Now let's see the another image here. Man beating his wife. So here this is nothing but it tells you that violence, a women harassment. Okay. So even that is a punishable offence. Yes. So have you heard about the bonded labor, dear students? Even bonded labor is also a punishable offence. So earlier in olden days, the zamindars used to give loans to the farmers or poor peoples. In case if the farmers or the poor peoples were not able to return it back, zamindars used to make them to enter into an agreement for 5 years or 10 years. That is called as bonded labor. Okay. So they couldn't work in other places, but they had to work under that particular zamindar. Understood, dear students? Even that has been a punishable offence. Let's move to the next slide, that is right to freedom of religion. So you can see here our country is a vast country with number of religion, right students? So what it tells, let us see. Right to freedom of religion tells that the citizens of India have the right to accept and follow religion of their own choice. So here every individual or every citizen of our country have the right to accept, practice, profess and propagate and follow religion according to his choice. Understood? No one can restrict him from following the religion of his choice. Understood, dear students? Let's move to the next right. Let's see what right is waiting for us now, that is cultural and educational rights. Okay, cultural and educational rights. This fundamental right protects the cultural and educational interest of the citizens of our country. The government and the constitution of our country has given the right to every citizen of our country to protect his culture, tradition, language, etc. Okay. As well, every individual has the right to establish his own educational institution. Okay. But those educational institutions should adhere the laws laid down by our government. Understood, dear students? Yes. Shall we move to the next topic? Yes. So here is our next right, that is right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies is very important right, dear students. Let's see why it is important. It tells that a citizen has the right to approach the court of justice in the event of violation of fundamental rights. So Here, this right is particularly most important right. Why? Because see, all the above said right, whether it is a right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, cultural and educational right, all these rights are dependent on this right. Mean all these rights are protected under this right. If we protect this right, then we can enjoy all the other rights also. Understood? So here, every citizen of our country can approach the court for justice if all the above said rights are getting violated. The next topic, fundamental duties of the citizen. So far we looked about the rights, right? We are enjoying the rights, fundamental rights given by our constitution. But don't you think, students, only enjoying right is done? We must render certain duties towards our nation. Let us see what are these duties. Fundamental duty is nothing but the compulsory responsibility of an individual towards his country. It is known as the fundamental duty. Fundamental rights and fundamental duties are the two faces of the same coin. Fundamental rights is nothing but which we have, whereas fundamental duties are nothing but which we render, which we do it. Understood, dear students? So let us see, there are 11 such fundamental duties that as a citizen of our country we have to render these duties. Let us see now one by one. The first and the foremost duty of our Indian citizen is to respect the constitution, national flag and national anthem. So it is the sole responsibility of every Indian that we have to respect our constitution, we have to respect our national flag as well national anthem. Let's move to the next duty. To follow the noble ideals that inspired our struggle for freedom. Here, students, we have to cherish and uphold the noble ideals that once inspired our freedom struggle. What can be noble ideals? For example, like Satya, Ahimsa, Shanti. Satya is nothing but truth. Ahimsa, non-violence. Shanti is nothing but the peace. So these were the ideals which had inspired our freedom fighters, right? So in the same way, even being a citizen, it is our responsibility to follow these ideals. Okay, let's move to the next duty now. The next duty is to protect the unity of India. So this is also one among the most important duty of Indian citizen, that we have to work to protect the unity of our country. Students, our country is a vast and diverse nation. We have number of different speaking language people, right? Then we have number of religion. People follow different religion, different caste, different sect. So in such a diversity, we have to maintain a unity. Let's move to the next duty, that is to defend the motherland. Yes, dear students. So this is the most important duty as a citizen of our country. As Indians, we have to be ready to defend our motherland, okay, whenever it is called for. So if there is an outer sites attack, we have to at any time we have to come forward and we have to be ready to sacrifice our life for the sake of defending our motherland. Right, students? Yes? Okay, let's see. The next duty is to promote the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India. Okay, we must live a life of fraternity. Okay, we must have a good relations with each other. As it is a diverse nation, we have to maintain the feeling of brotherhood and fraternity. Understood, dear students? So, this will lead to a progress in our country. Okay. Now, let's see the next duty, that is to preserve our rich heritage. So, this is also an important duty on the part of the Indians. We have to respect, we have to preserve our rich heritage. Rich heritage is nothing but the monuments, buildings which are the pride of our country. Understood, dear students? Now, next is to protect and improve the natural environment. So, this is also a very important duty that we have to protect and improve the natural environment of our country, which leads in one way to a development and progress of our country. So, this is the another duty on the part of every Indian citizens, that is to develop the scientific temper and the spirit of inquiry. So, here students, we have to develop a scientific temper, that is a logical, rational thinking. Okay, instead we shouldn't follow the blind beliefs, okay, superstitious beliefs. So, for each and everything, the kind of questioning is very important. So, for each and everything, we have to think in a logical way. Earlier, dear students, there were some superstitious beliefs. So, even you might have come across, like if a few persons are walking on a road, if a black cat crossed the road, so they used to come back. So, this was the superstitious belief. They used to believe that something bad will happen if we cross the road again. So, these are all things which we have to live it. This is a wrong thing. Let's move to the next duty, that is to safeguard public property and give up the violence. So, this is also a very, very important duty on part of every citizen. We have to safeguard our public property. So, a public property, a property of our country is nothing but the public property. We have to safeguard public property and give up the violence. So, I think you people have seen, right students, like if some violence or protest takes place, the first thing we do is we hinder the public property, whether it is a government office or a bus. We throw stones on it, we burn the vehicles and all. So, do you think it is right? As a citizen of our country, what we are doing? We are hindering our own things, right? So, it's our sole duty that we have to safeguard our public property and we have to give up the violence. Understood? Let's move to the next duty, that is to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity. So, this is also another duty that we have to follow it. So, we have to reach excellence in all the spheres of collective and individual activities. Next is the last duty of our Indian citizen is the parents or the guardians should provide an opportunity for education to their children from the age of 6 to 14 years. So, this is the duty on every parents or guardians that they should send their children to schools. Now, let us see what and all we have learned in this chapter. Okay. Now, based on this, I'll give you an activity. Okay, let us see what is that. Write the fundamental rights in the block. Right to participate in the peaceful public meeting. It is the right to freedom. Now, let us move to the next question. That is, the citizen can question in court of law in case of violation of fundamental rights. Okay, which is this fundamental right? Right to constitutional remedies. This is your home assignment. Final activity. Collect the pictures of fundamental duties found in your surrounding. So, thank you students. Fatima Anjum here. So, I am from GHPS Matavara and I would like to thank DSERT for giving this a wonderful platform which is connecting a teacher and a students. Thank you, sir.